Hey, Fair Shake, what's up? Hey, Tay. Hello, Teresa, Dylan, Eb, Dog, Eggman, what's up, man? Hey, Man in Black, how you doing, brother? Patrick, Liberty, hey, Dragonfly. I saw that you just subscribed there, welcome. Hey, Jane. Kind of letting people pile in here. Hey, Bev. Yeah, I still have no glasses, so you guys still see me squinting. Hey, James. Hey, Chili. Hey, Pepper. Hey, Kim. Samantha, how you doing? Yeah, see, one of the bugs in this OBS is it doesn't tell you the proper count of who's in here. Plus, these days, these notifications don't go out like they're supposed to. Hey, Steven, Albert, Lori. Well, everybody, as you can see, we got Pajama Audits with us tonight. She's a new activist from Florida. She's the one that Liberty Freak TV sent everybody to this morning. And she had an issue she ran into. Yeah, Liberty, I don't know why. You know, some people get it, some people don't. I don't understand it. Hey, Ben, Wayne. Yeah, I'm not sure why only some people get my notifications. Doesn't make sense. But at any rate, so I figured we'd have her on the show tonight and introduce her and try to help her grow her channel and kind of get her story, because I got the impression we're going to see some really good things from her. So, hey, Joshua, what's up, man? It's Pajama Audits. Joshua Haynes, man, he's a trip. Hey, Bama. Pajamas rock. Yeah, you can see she's got pajamas all behind her. I love the Batman one. Or Batgirl, I should say.
The Batman one is what I got started in.
Ah.
Yep.
Wobbly Boost over in Australia. He said he's got his pajamas on still.
That is Brian Pink.
Hey, Hawkwind. What's up?
It's Robin. This is Robin. She's my partner in crime.
Ah, hey, I'm Brian King, and you're now saying hi to me and like 50 other people or so.
Robin. Yeah, she's the one that was using the bullhorn those first couple nights.
Ah, okay.
Reminding people kindly of their turn signals.
You should watch the video Funny Cop videos, the compilation on my channel. There's it starts out with compilations other people made of cops without seatbelts. And it's funny because the woman filming, or the woman that was showing the video at the time that made the recording was laughing her ass off the whole time. And you know how when somebody else laughs, it's infectious and you just gotta laugh? And that's exactly what happened. So like the whole part of the first part of the video, you see like 15 cops without seatbelts and laughing like crazy.
Yeah,
So,
we called it the Resident Protection Team, and we were having a lot of fun until the helicopter started tracking us.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. It had my adrenaline going.
We drove past the substation, and one of the really bad cops happened to be there, and she screams "Blue Lives Murder" over the PA system. Next thing we knew, we had a helicopter flying over us, looking for a suspicious vehicle.
in the same zone that we were in. Just
Hey,
Yeah.
furry potato. Furry's here.
and it followed us all the way back to the house, and I mean, it was still flying around for a good hour or two after we came in.
Yeah.
It might be easier if you got a phone to get on the channel on your phone, but pause the screen
Okay.
so you can watch the chat. So
Okay.
just pause the video, but watch this way you can, follow along the chat as well.
Okay.
I got some mini robins I gotta put to bed, so.
Some
Have
mini
fun with
robins.
that.
I got baby robins that I
Um,
need to put in their nest.
All my kids are teenagers, so my oldest is going to be 18. So
Wow. My oldest is 21, and my youngest is 3. Just turned 3.
Hey, Bow, thanks for doing that, man. Bow just shared this stream with all his subscribers.
Awesome.
Hey, Bob, what's up, man? So, why don't you kind of start off by telling us how you got into this? What is the driving factor that made you want to become an activist and an auditor?
Well, I say a lot, just so you know. But I was raised that the police were your friends, and you had to trust the police and do what they told you and all that other stuff. And I actually have a family member who is a police officer. So being raised that way, I was trusting. And on May 6, 2017, my husband took my vehicle to go pick up his phone that he had left at our new house, and came back home. Well, around noontime on the 7th, I had 3 detectives with the Volusia County Sheriff's Department show up at my house. And I didn't know my rights at that point. I didn't know, I was dumb. I was a bootlicker. The cops couldn't do any wrong, and I was interrogated for 55 minutes because my vehicle legally on the road passed the tag reader the night before. And there happened to be a crime in the area. Although the suspects were, the victim said that the suspects were 2 young black males driving a 2008 Dragonfly, maybe you can help me, a 2000 Envoy or something like that. It was something totally not like my vehicle. So for 55 minutes, they actually treated me like a criminal and demanded that I tell them exactly where I went, the address, show them proof that I had just bought the house. And I'm like, you know what, you guys? Anyway, finally somebody came up and whispered something to them, and they left after 55 minutes. After that, I have a autoimmune disease, and after all that and the stress that went along with that, the sheriff came to apologize to my family, and he did not apologize. He offered my son a job. He was 19 at the time. Offered him a job. Offered to have my autistic teenager go to the K-9 training center, and then offered the entire family a helicopter ride. Do you know how much that would have cost the county if I had said, okay, take me on a helicopter ride? And I believe with all my heart that that was bribery, because when I didn't shut up about what happened to me and what they did, they really, he just cut off communication. The last email that I actually got in my personal email from Sheriff Michael Chitwood was, I had asked him why he employed a officer who was under investigation by Internal Affairs, was resigned, and then was rehired a year later. And he responded with something weird, and I said, I'm talking about Officer Sawicki. And he goes, oh, my bad. And that was the last conversation, that was the last sentence that he ever said to me, was, "Oh, my bad." And after that, I ended up on hospice care in June of 2017, and I was on hospice care until January 5th of 2018. And through that time, the stress of what they put me through and everything, didn't help. And during that time, I connected with the Liberty Cause and the Shadow, and he's my mentor, and Dragonfly is one of my mentors, and the Shadow is the lawyer for our team, because we are a huge team. I hooked up with him and was exposed to what's really happening in our city as well. We have a very corrupt city manager who abuses her power and uses code enforcement and the sheriff's department to intimidate, harass, and retaliate against the residents. So we kind of, everything I was learning, my eyes were opened, and I started watching James Freeman and Val, and then when James went and met Eric, I started really looking at all of Eric's videos as well, and several others, Jeff Gray, and I just watched for almost a year, just watched, and I decided that I needed to be part, because we didn't have this here, and I needed to expose this. I needed to be part of what was happening.
Now, what part of Florida are you?
I'm in Central Florida. I'm near Daytona Beach.
Okay.
I'm about 30 minutes southwest of Daytona.
Because we've got Ebor Rob and Big Nick and Flow Ride the Hillbilly. Yeah, they're all in Florida.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any. I know Jeff Gray is just above our county. I believe he's in Flagler County, right? I think St. Augustine is in Flagler, I think. In Volusia County, where I'm at, we've had auditors come here. Jeff Gray actually came here and did a video, and the police actually tried to stop an ID with him for him being a suspicious person. That was under our former sheriff, Ben Johnson. And I know that, not Ybor, Rogue Nation has also come to Volusia County a couple times as well. But I didn't know about them until after I started going out there and doing some stuff. Because I went and audited that building I was at this morning. For the first time, I went and audited that several months ago. And I even called the Liberty Cause, and I'm like, somebody's already been here. And you could just tell the way that, people interacted with me. So they had been there. Today was actually the first time that I had the reaction that I had. I mean, that was pretty rough this morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put you in contact with Big Nick. He's a powerhouse down there. I mean, Big Nick he's taken Florida by storm, and his YouTube channel, it exploded. I mean, the guy's amazing, and so I'm gonna hook you up with him and see if we can't get you guys together and go do some audits. I mean, maybe even Ebor Rob if he drops in tonight. But you also got News Now South Carolina, who travels to Florida, and he's very, very good too. So you got a lot of potential down there, and I know Florida as a whole has barely been audited. If you put it into perspective, maybe 1% of the state has been audited.
Right.
So
and it's not much. I mean, they won't usually. The comments that I got today about me recording were very unusual for our sheriff's department, because we've actually had them on camera say, "Oh, they're allowed to record in public, so you that's just, you're allowed to do it. So for her to say what she said today, I was kind of surprised, because every other time they've said, well, you have the right to report us. So,
Right. Well, it was interesting watching that, because by the time, hey, thanks for that, Cybertron. By the time I came in, it was just before the lady came out that was actually being kind to you and started, like, really helping you. And all of us in the channel were like, man, this is exactly how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the ladies behind the counter, you could see the look on their face. So I scrolled back a bit and I watched like 10 or 20 minutes before that to catch up. And, yeah, that was very interesting. Like, it was two total polar opposites from the lady behind the counter and the lady that came out the door.
The lady that came out the door, her name is Lillian, and she is the custodian of records for the sheriff's department. And she gets what we're doing and why we're doing it. She really does. She's a great person. She tries to help us as much as possible, as far as getting the information we request. So, I was like, the Liberty Cause said, make sure they're nice to Lillian if they call her, and because she is, she's really a good contact, a good person for us to have.
Yeah.
But the other lady was, she was awful.
Yeah.
And the captain. Some people, I don't know if anybody who watched my feed this morning is in here. The captain that came out, and he was right here in my face. And he refused to ID. I asked him his name and badge number, and he walked away from me and mumbled something. His name is Shane Summers.
I don't mean to cut you off. Big Nick just walked in the channel here. Big Nick, this lovely lady's in Florida, so she's near Daytona. I don't know how far that is from you, but she's in Florida.
I think it's like 4 hours down to where he's at, Fort Lauderdale area.
Yeah, well, if I could drive 4 hours to walk 4 hours to meet with Big Nick, I would. I seriously, Big Nick is my brother, man. The guy's amazing.
Yeah. Hi, Big Nick. I follow him. He was one of I actually subbed to him. He was like my third sub that I started really watching. Because he was in Florida, and I wanted to see what other departments were doing, because our sheriff is, okay, a couple weeks ago, I went to a ComStat meeting, which is a crime reporting meeting where it's the sheriff and all his captains and the public information officer and all that jazz. And I go to this, and I'm in my lovely Batman jammies right here. And I asked him a question. And I said, why do you keep dumping bad cops in Deltona, which is my city? I said, we pay you $11.9 million for you to dump cops with disciplinary issues to straighten them out. So why do you keep doing that? He told me to go to the FBI. So I did. But the meeting before that, I asked the question because our city manager is currently under investigation for 4 felony counts of voter fraud. She listed City Hall as her residential address, and voted in the wrong district in 4 elections. So there's actually more than 4 felony charges, but, Anyway, so she's under investigation for this, and I asked the sheriff, I said, why aren't you going... the law says if you're aware that someone has committed a felony, you are supposed to take action. You are our sheriff. And he went off on me, and then he threw himself backwards from the desk, and he goes, I'm corrupt and they're corrupt. And I'm like, was that an admission of guilt?
Did you get that on film?
I did not, because I actually, right after that, I switched phone services because my phone would record it, but then it would like freeze when I tried to stop it, and it would erase the whole video. So, but Dragonfly was able to get it all on video. So the Batman meeting, when I wore the Batman, that actually, the meeting that he said he was corrupt was the day Dragonfly and I were walking out of the meeting, and she looked over at me, and she goes, "Are you in pajamas?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, you know, I had just woken up when you called, and these guys aren't worth getting dressed for. And that kind of became my line, you know, my protest. Your behavior is not worth me getting dressed for. What you're doing is not worth me dressing up, and, you know, you're making a mockery of our city. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to attend all the meetings in pajamas. With my spinal injury, I have a hard time with certain activities of daily living. So it's actually easier for me to be in the pajamas. They're more comfortable, you know, with my spinal injury because the texture of stuff. But so I've been wearing pajamas, but no one noticed until Dragonfly noticed that day. And then it just became a thing. And that's my line. You're just not worth getting dressed for.
Hey, I know the feeling. I've had a spine surgery, and it didn't work. So, I've had 5 heart attacks and lots of other stuff. So, I get it. Big Nick had to go for a minute. His phone was dying. But, yeah, I like the whole pajama thing. The whole reasoning for it. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that I tell everybody else. Go onto your Google Play Store and download Screen Recorder. It's literally just called Screen Recorder. It's free, no ads, has a blue icon with a white camera, and anytime you're going to go live, run that first. And that will create a local copy on your phone of the stream. And then then the live stream itself saves on the YouTube servers. So that creates a redundancy. Yes, it will burn batteries more, but it creates a redundancy. So definitely get a screen recorder and have a backup battery.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a battery pack or something. But I'm telling you, as long as you've got the space on it, on your phone, a couple of gigs or whatever free, run the screen recorder right before you go live. Okay. Because live streams are notoriously unstable anyways. They pixelate, they drop, they stutter. But that local copy won't. It'll be perfect. In everything that it shows. And here's the best part. If the cops kill your stream and the screen recorder's still running, it records audio still.
Oh, wow.
So you'll still have audio recording even if they shut the stream down.
Okay. I wish I had that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just called Screen Recorder.
Okay.
So, you know, blue circle with a white camera icon in the middle. And it's no ads or nothing, and it's free.
I'm looking it up right now.
So,
because that's definitely something that I could benefit from, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more and more. You know, it's one of those ideas that came to me a few weeks ago out of the blue. And I'm just like, man, people should really do this. So, I've been trying to tell everybody.
So, it's this one, right?
Yep. That's it. For people with iPhones, Constitutional Kim says that there's a built-in one for iPhones. So,
awesome.
Yeah, you know, like I said, it will burn batteries, but Cybertron will have that DU argument till we're blue in the face, man. He loves DU recorder, but I hate it. So, but yeah.
Well, that'll come in handy because my son loves to swipe my GoPro for his paintball. So you know, he likes to record all his paintball tournaments, so I end up looking for it or get it back dead or, you know. But, I mean, today, I just want to tell everybody thank you so much for the support today. It was the first time that I've actually been confronted with someone that actually made me a little scared. I mean, the way that guy came out and he was like on top of me.
Right.
At one point, I asked him, there were a couple times I asked him, can you please back up? Because you are in my space and you're making me very uncomfortable. And he backed up like a half an inch, right? And then he stepped forward again. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he actually did step forward again. And that's when I stood up and walked on the other side of my husband. Because I was like, I've asked you to back up.
Right.
But that was the first time I've ever had a major runaround, besides at City Hall the other day with the deputy clerk who was advising me to break the law, which I wouldn't do. You know, but I just so thankful for everybody who supported me this morning and was there to help me get through that and advising me what to say. And because I am new and I have a ton to learn, Brian, I'm open to learn.
Well, this, come on, guys. She needs 3 more subs to hit 300. Come on, let's get her there. Hell, let's get her to 1,000. But, yeah, no, I understand totally. I know what it's like to be new and all of this. And, you know, I had several mentors that, you know how I told you I was anti-auditing for a long time? You know, and people like Denise Lynn and, you know, Joshua Haynes and Taylin, and I mean, they really helped me become a supporter. So,
yeah, and you know, before all this happened in 2017, I would be the one on these Eyes on Authority or exposing the police site saying, well, if the police arrested them, they must have been guilty. You know, and I'm, since my eyes opened,
303.
It's like, wow, thank you guys. Thank you.
She had like 150.
An incentive to sub. Pikes Peak auditor said, if I hit 1,000, he will get a tattoo across his rear. So he did.
Yeah, you had like 100 and something this morning when I walked into your channel. So
I think, yeah, it was like 108 when I started the live feed, and then it jumped. So
you've gone up about 200 so far. That's not bad. So we'll get you there. You know, we all gonna support each other, guys. If you haven't watched her video from this morning, go watch it after the stream. Trust me, this lady's got serious potential. And what I like is that you don't, you know, there's been a lot of back and forth about auditing styles and whether or not you should get vulgar and things like that. And of course, everybody's got their own opinions. You know, nobody has a right to tell anybody else how to audit. We're all independent journalists. We're not an organization. You know, and that's why I hate all these people coming up with the News Now names, because it makes us look like an entity, and we're not. We're independent journalists. But
I actually have a News Now channel.
Yeah, well, you don't use it.
But
Cybertron says if you get 2,000 subs, he'll lick Pipe Spear's rear tattoo. But you know, I modeled myself kind of after News Now Houston and a little bit of SA Ecstasy Prez, and you know, I prefer more of the cordial but straightforward. You're friendly, you know, you're respectful until they disrespect you style. And you seem to be the same exact thing. Yeah, I know I haven't done a ton of audits yet. I'm on probation, that's why. So, doesn't matter. I've done some audits, and I do everything I can to help. So, I hate trolls always trying to start crap. But, at any rate, I really liked your presence, and I liked the fact that you stood your ground. You know, I don't know how to put it. I'd say tenacious in a way. I say that about Regan Benson too. That woman is insanely tenacious. But you do kind of remind me of her in a way. You know, and if you haven't checked out Regan Benson, she's great.
I have. I subbed to her channel. One of the nights that she was talking to Eric. And you know, I really got into, while he was in jail, I really got into, like, listening to those feeds with, I believe you did a couple, too.
Yeah, I did.
And, yeah, and I was in here just kind of sitting back, listening, and, you know, Eric is an inspiration to me. I just want this much of his energy. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. I've talked to Eric offline. I mean, the man... The way his brain works, I'm very much a tech person. I'm very binary. True, false, yes, no, good, bad. I'm very binary. So, listening to Eric, when his mind... I mean, the man's got to have an IQ pushing 200. I mean, he's so brilliant. So, if you ever get the opportunity to talk to him offline, do it.
He called me last night.
Oh, awesome. That's cool.
And actually, this morning when I was live, he was live, and the Liberty Cuz sent me a message and said, Eric's playing your call. And I'm like, really? So my husband signed in to YouTube on the phone that he had, and he was playing Eric while I was live at the Sheriff's Department. But I was really excited to talk to him because a commissioner yesterday asked me if I knew who chalked up City Hall. And I'm like, somebody chalked up City Hall? Wonder who that could be. You know? And just, you know. And then she proceeded to start telling me about Eric. And she said, I don't think the other commissioners knew how big of a movement this is, but this is a nationwide movement. And it's, you know, you could hear the concern in her voice, like, they're here. Right. You know, who did this? So then she told me, well, he's still in jail. And I said, oh, no, he got out the first. So I kind of gave away that I kind of knew, you know, I knew that circle, you know.
Oh, yeah. I had talked to Eric a couple nights before he got out, and he originally was going to keep it a secret. He wasn't going to tell anybody he was out until he showed up at an audit. And that was the whole plan, but it kind of fell through because when he gets out of jail, Pikes Peak's standing there live filming him getting out of jail. So it kind of killed the whole surprise.
Jerry asked about Mr. Pajama, the art critic. Come here.
The art critic?
He had the camera today, and they had an art display, and he was walking around going, oh, this one's funky. Oh, this one's funky, too. And Jerry said he would be, you know, the best art critic of 2019.
I don't know about that.
Well, hello, Mr. Pajamas.
Hello.
Everybody. Hey, Liberty Freak, what's up, man?
Hi, Liberty Freak.
Just so you know, I forgot to tell you before we went live, there is a built-in delay, like a few second delay. I did it for a reason. It stops buffering from happening.
Okay.
So, that's another thing. If you do your OBS, definitely put a delay in it of like 3 to 5 seconds. Because it makes a big difference. So, when I had Mike the Cop on here and that, I had a lot of buffering issues. So... but, yeah, Modified Mommy's there. MM Note. Hey, they're saying hi, Mr. PJ.
Hello.
Yep. They're
So
all
what do you,
seniors.
now that we got you on the screen, what do you think about your wife auditing and or being an activist? What's up to Larry?
I support her. I mean, I support her on everything she's done, and everything she does, and everything she's gonna do. She's my wife. I love her, and I stand behind her. I don't stand behind her. I stand with her.
That's awesome. That, you know, a lot of us, you know, I personally, I don't have anyone else, you know, I take care of a disabled mother, you know, she's very sick, and it's really hard for me, but we got a lot of people like Cybertron, his wife, Furry Potato, and Mrs. Potato, and it's amazing what you guys are how powerful it is that you guys stand by all of your partners, you know? Because, I mean, it's got to be stressful for you to see her out there and see the cop getting in her face like that.
It is. It is very stressful.
But he saw me in a cop's face. We have a sergeant who likes to just come over here. Okay, he comes and he knocks on my door. Doesn't call. Really has no reason to be coming to my house, but he'll come and he'll knock on my door.
Wait, hold on,
So
hold
I
on.
told him,
There's somebody. Hold on. There's somebody that created a name called Brian E. Begging King. These are the kind of trolls I get. And no, I've actually done 3 audits. If you've gone and looked at my channel more, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, I've done them. I did it right up until my PO said don't. If not for that, I'd still be doing them. So.
Ignore the trolls,
Brian. Oh, I know, but it's just, you know, it gets frustrating.
Liberty Freak said, where is this? Said, thanks, Mr. Pajama, for standing with her in accountability. Okay, so the Sergeant McDonald with the Sheriff's Department had come to my house previously unannounced. And I told him, I said, I have a no trespassing sign on my property. You need to leave my property. Do not come here again unless you call me and you have a reason to be coming here. You know, and I authorized. So he showed up 2 weeks later. Was it 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later? He shows up again and knocks on my door. And I walked outside. I said, did you call me? And he goes, what? I said, did you call me to tell me you were coming here? Anyway, I kicked him off my property. This one goes down to the end of the driveway to the public sidewalk and says,
yeah, well, I thought you were getting arrested.
He says, I don't know why you gotta make things so difficult. And just without hesitation, I said, now you can go pack your shit. Because you have to, I mean, you have to have that support. Right. You know what I mean? And we talked about it after, you know, and it's become a big joke now. But today was the first time he's actually gone with me on one of my audits. And he saw what I did and what I have to put up with out there.
So wait, now let me ask you, Mr. Pajama, when that cop got in her face, I'm going to guess you had the same instinct I would have had. Your fists were balled, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
I could see it in your face. You got that protection, like, this is my baby, ain't nobody messing with her. So, well, I thank you very much for being such a big support to her. And in turn, because you support her, you support all of us.
Right.
And I really appreciate
take
that.
It a little bit easier.
Well, just know that there's a whole community of us out here. And we're all here to help any way we can.
Yeah, I just worry about her with her disease, that she's pushing herself too hard sometimes.
I understand. Yeah, look, Steve Pinder's almost at 500. Everybody subbed to him, too. You should be subbed to him anyway. Steve Pinder's awesome. But James Barnes says you sound like a man.
Well, thank you.
James Barnes is ex-military, great guy, big supporter. So.
Me too. I'm an ex-military guy myself.
Oh, well,
Liberty,
thank you for your service.
The Liberty Cuz just made a comment. It's really funny though because he's been telling me, he goes, you're like untouchable right now because they know we've had code enforcement harass me, and I sent a cease and desist to the city, legally put together cease and desist to the city, and then the sheriff's department started driving by, and I let them know that wasn't gonna fly, and then so right after this whole thing with the Batman jammies and me calling out our sheriff, we had a dog kennel in the front yard. We just kind of moved it out there to get it cleaned up and everything, and it never made it back in the house. So the baby, the 3-year-old, was actually in the kennel playing around. She climbed in there, locked it. You know, she was just being goofy. And a sheriff's deputy drove by and just kept right on driving. So the Liberty Cause and Dragonfly 1 are joking around with me saying I am completely untouchable when they drive by, you know, with the baby and the dog kennel. But, you know, she could get out. She was just playing around.
Right. Well, but yeah. No, that is funny. That's definitely funny. Yeah, you'll definitely, like I said, I see a lot of potential in you. And the fact that now I see you have such a support system at home and that just reinforces my faith that you're going to be taking Florida by storm. And I just, you know, all I could say is, I know you're new to this. You have to be prepared. Be prepared. I mean, you know, a lot of people make the mistake of going out there and they're not ready for things like being arrested or needing to pay bail or even just setting up emergency contacts. I mean, make sure there's always somebody that knows where you are. Make sure there's always somebody that has access to your PayPal. I mean, these are things that, trust me, you need to have. And avoid places like the post office and libraries and things like that. I mean, you know, first off, what's the point in auditing them? And people always misinterpret Poster 7, and they don't read the part where it says except where prohibited by. They always skip that line. So in reality, you can't film in a post office if they tell you you can't. Period. So avoid things like that, but just definitely be prepared. You know, obviously your husband's there, so that's awesome.
Well, that and like I said, we're a team. It's not just me out here. The Liberty Cause is, like I said, my mentor. And there's actually a lot of videos, expose type videos that you can go see on his channel. He's my mentor. He can spit the Constitution like chewing food. He knows exactly where things are. And his Dragonfly is another member of our team. Then we have the Shadow, who is an attorney on our team. So we do have a lot of support. My other family doesn't really support this. My mom, my sister, they just don't understand why I do this. But I do have the support of our team members. We have a couple team members that actually aren't actively auditing, but we have a K-9 officer who gives us information and tells us what to ask for. And, you know, he called me right before this broadcast. So, you know, we do have a really huge team, and Brian, I never go anywhere unless my husband, Dragonfly, and the Liberty Cause know where I'm going. Like when I went to Sanford the other day, which was a great experience. I even probably had a part in them letting some kid go that they had pulled over and searched. But I let them know. I'm like, hey, I have to run to Sanford, so I'm going to do an audit there. but they knew exactly where I was, and that's something that I just feel safer with. You know what I mean?
That, and I can track her phone too.
Yes, I actually have a family thing where he can actually look at my exact location.
Now
So,
you have a lock PIN number on your screen, right?
yes.
Okay,
I actually,
and he knows it, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's a password, so it's a little more complicated than just a PIN number. And my I have two phones. I have my personal phone, and then I have the Pajama Audits phone.
Good.
And the Pajama Audit phone has this really long freaking password that nobody can figure out. He even had a hard time signing in today. And then the other one is a PIN that he knows. But they lock after 30 seconds, which is why you keep seeing me look down. I have to keep unlocking it.
Well, just so you, if you're ever holding your phone, and they come to arrest you, make sure, you know, it's a catch-22 because you want to keep that rolling, but you don't, at the same time, you don't want to give them access to your phone.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those, there are some, I'll have to look it up again, I forgot it now. But there are programs that will keep recording with the screen off.
Okay.
So I'm going to look into that a little more because that's definitely something that you should also consider. But the screen recorder is going to be a big thing. You know, anybody that live streams should have a screen recorder. So
I downloaded it on my personal because I go back and forth.
Right.
But mostly I do the live feeds from the Pajama Audit phone.
Good.
Just as, you know, and I wanted that separation.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. It's great that you're able to do that. A lot of people can't. And there's a lot of people that go out literally with nothing but their phone. They don't have a GoPro. They don't have anything else. And they live stream and have a horrible signal. And so their entire evidence is gone because it was all pixelated and tore up. Hey, Eyes Wide Open, how you doing? Yes, that was what I was getting to next, is definitely local laws are a big deal, and know about things like boundary lines. You know, sometimes a boundary line can extend a lot further than people think.
Okay.
Like, we've had cases where people go to an Air Force base or an Army base, and they're on the sidewalk outside the base, on the side of the street the base is on, and don't realize that that base technically does own up to the street, not just the wall.
Yeah,
so
I saw that on one of the videos, yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely have to have an understanding of where you're allowed to be. And always remember that no matter what they say, if you know you're legal, like the First Amendment, you know, without a doubt, you can record in public. No matter what they say, you can record in public, on a public sidewalk, on a public street. Nobody can ever tell you. A lot of people fall for it. And they think that, well, let me just turn my camera off. No. You're in public. You're legal to film. Stand your ground. Make sure that they know, you're not dumb. You know this. You know you're legal. If they want, if they want to take it to the next level, fine. If you're willing to go that far, fine. But know your limits too, guys. And I say this a lot because I see a lot of comment sections where people say, "Oh, well, you didn't go all the way to jail. You're not a real auditor, or you're not a real activist unless you get arrested." Jail is not a badge of honor. Jail is not a goal. I've been there many times. If you are unwilling to go to jail for whatever reason, give up your ID. If it seems like they're going to take you, give up your ID. You're still proving a point just by being out there. You know your limits. So, I mean, I'm just tired of seeing people get arrested for something that they weren't ready, they weren't able. People get arrested and they think that they're going to get 1,000 donations to bail them out, and then they don't.
And then they're stuck there.
Yeah, you never know. There is no guarantee in this. That's why I say, have a plan, know your limits. If you don't have bail money set aside or bond money set aside, or, if you are willing to go that far, make sure your husband knows where all the bondsmen are. Typical bonds, 10% of the bail. Sometimes they want collateral.
Yeah, Dragonfly knows where I keep my bail money.
Well, good. That's good.
So,
a lot of people are not that ready.
Yeah.
So that's definitely great. So, Mr. Pajamas, are you going to ever audit, or are you going to be just like the backup camera?
She does a lot of it while I'm at work. I just kind of happen to be off of work today.
Ah.
Yeah, he works for.
I work for a hospital here in town, and
Oh.
so I do work during the day. So
then, yeah. So he wasn't feeling good today, and I kind of dragged him along with me, even though he was sick. And I'm kind of glad I did, because when Shane came up to me that way, I really got a little nervous.
man, she wouldn't have got his name if I wouldn't have been with her, because I've seen his name tag on his uniform.
Ah, okay.
Up on Google, and that's how I found out who it was.
Yeah, that's something that I really need to focus on doing, is asking for names before any interaction. What's your name? And if it's an officer, what's your badge number? Because the lady at City Hall the other day also, I never got her name. And then I had to ask the guy at the desk what her name was. So that's something that I really, in critiquing my own video today, I was like, I keep doing this. I need to really focus and make sure I get people's names before I ever start talking to them.
In your defense, that guy kind of came up on you really fast.
He did.
I didn't even see him come out of that room behind that lady until he was right up in the room on top of her.
But, the good thing is that you are critiquing your own videos, and you're seeing these things, and you're making that mental note. Name and badge number, name and badge number, name and badge number. Ask for a card if you can. If you try to remember to always ask for a card. Most jurisdictions, the cops are supposed to have business cards. So, always, even if they don't have it, okay, at least you asked. But yeah, it's great that you're doing that. So, sorry, it sucks since I broke my damn glasses.
What did Constitutional always hide money in your?
Yeah, and make sure you know the difference between consensual and non-consensual contact. Make sure you always ask, am I being detained?
Okay.
That's very, very, very important, because everything changes between consensual and non-consensual, and detained versus not detained. The best thing to do, especially in in the case you were in today, you were indoors, you were seeking information. So that's a different style. It's just activism. But the fact is, you were talking, that's great. You got answers, you got you got at least some of what you were looking for. But when you're auditing in the street, one of the best approaches really is to just stay quiet. And talk as little as possible. This way you're less likely to put your foot in your mouth. I mean, that happens to people all the time. You know, you'll see sometimes people are live in the channel, everybody's screaming, shut up, stop talking. And they just keep on talking. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people talk themselves into handcuffs. You know, so just something to keep in your head is always consensual, non-consensual. Detained, not detained.
Yeah.
Definitely keep that in your head, especially when you're out on the street, because you're more likely to encounter rookies and cops that just don't, they're bitter, they don't care, it's the end of their shift, they just want to get home. You know, we all know there's good cops out there, but cops are human. They get tired, they get worn out, they get mad. You know, yeah, they have a job to do, and yes, they have rules they have to follow, but they don't always. So just be prepared. You know.
We have several that, you know, our team kind of keeps an eye on. One of them, the Liberty Cause calls him Deputy Trespass. And then we have Deputy Highlight, our Headlights, and then we have a few other, you know, because this is what they're known for. This deputy tried to trespass a resident off of city property from a building that she pays taxes on because she exposed illegal activity in that building by our city, and the city got in trouble. So they, a week after the event, send Deputy Trespass out to trespass her off of city property. And he went to her house, and he's like, I'm here to issue a trespass. And so, anyway, his nickname is now Deputy Trespass. So when we see him, the Liberty Cause saw him one day. He goes, oh, hi, Deputy Trespass, without even skipping a beat, Brian. He's like, hi, Deputy Trespass.
Well, the funny thing is, trespassing is like the most common thing you're going to encounter. Trespassing and disorderly conduct. Those are the two things you will encounter the most. Now, you have to make sure you're well versed in what trespassing means in your area. You know, in most areas, you have to be trespassed and allowed to leave before you can be criminally trespassed. So, now some actually go as far as to put an official trespass on your record. So, you may be trespassed from a store, and it may go on your record that, you know, so they know when they pull your record up. But some, not all of them do that. Some do, some don't. Yeah. But the fact is, make sure you are well versed in what constitutes disorderly conduct, what constitutes trespassing, and I don't know if you curse at all or anybody that's with you curses, but if so, make sure.
Sometimes.
Well, there's some areas where you can't. If you curse in hearing distance of a woman or a child, you can automatically be arrested. So make sure you know all that.
Like that, right?
Huh?
Myrtle Beach just started that over the summer, didn't they?
Well, it happened to one of our auditors that were out. He had a female auditor with him, and he said a curse word to the cop, and the cop automatically said, "You need to give me your ID now. You just broke the law. You cursed in front of that woman," even though the woman was an auditor. And she's like, I'm not complaining. I'm not filing a complaint. And the cop said, it doesn't matter. I heard him curse in front of you. He has to ID now.
Oh, wow.
So, that's why I say, make sure you know. Some places are really bad about cursing. Really bad. And they don't care if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah, I don't think here it's not. Really, I mean, it's on a personal level. Like, I've had officers say, "Oh, don't use that language," and I'm like, "What?" So today, actually, Lillian, I don't know if anybody heard that, but Lillian said something to me today, and I said, look, I'm not afraid to say fuck the cops. And, I'm not afraid to say that, but, it's not my everyday,
Right.
Yeah.
I know, guys, it will never stick in court. I get that, but not everybody wants to take it that far. Not everybody's willing to go through the motions, get arrested, have a hit on their record. Some people just want to try to make a difference without making a dent. They don't want to put themselves in jail just because they're trying to be an activist. So you can't. I mean, it sucks that so many things it boils down to take it up with the judge. Well, you'll have to take that up with the judge. Cops love to do that. They love it. We call it sidewalk litigation. You could know the law verbatim. You could be able to recite every word of a law to them. They don't care. Most of them will not go and check whether or not you're right. They will only go by what they know, even if it's wrong. So, that's why I keep telling people, I'm not saying it's just for your benefit, but you gotta be prepared. Because you never know. Like in New York State, the New York State troopers, their handbook, I've seen it myself. Their handbook literally says, arrest for everything. It literally says those 3 words in the handbook. Because they see it as, it becomes trooper discretion. They can decide whether or not they take you in handcuffs for, drawing on a sidewalk, or cursing in public, or running a red light. Technically, they're supposed to, Liberty Cause, that's great, that's awesome. But, I mean, look at our videos. Look at the history of all the audited videos. Trust me, man, it rarely works out that way. I'm great that you've had it happen for you. That's awesome. But, it's not always that case.
Sorry,
Thank
guys.
you, Mr. Pajamas.
Yeah, he's heading off to bed, so.
Yeah, but, I mean, you just, it's something you gotta be prepared for, and Liberty Cause, you are right. There are keywords people need to know, and there are keywords people need to listen for. You're absolutely right. But not everybody knows them all. Not everybody remembers them all. Or not everybody is given the opportunity to recite them all. Sometimes a cop will just flat out say, I mean, we've seen it with James Freeman. You're on our property, you're under arrest. Boom. They don't give him no chance to recite no laws, no nothing. Boom, arrested. Even if he beats it in court, he still had to go through the motions. So, it's just one of those things you have to weigh risk reward. It's just a fact of life.
Yeah, like our sheriff at that last ComStat meeting, he looked at one of the detectives and he told them to forcibly remove me from the room. And I knew exactly what he was saying. And one of the deputies told my daughter, your mom's about to get arrested. And then a captain actually defied him and got in between us. And he told the deputy, don't you touch her. But it was cop for arrest her. Get her out of here. I don't want her here.
Exactly. That happened with blind justice. That's happened with, there used to be, it's happened with Bao. I mean, it's happened to quite a few. And I mean, look at what happened with Bao. Bao sat in jail for 40 some odd days for nothing.
Yeah. I need to step away just for a second, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Whatever you need to do. How's everybody else doing in the channel here? You guys feel free to ask questions if you have any. I think you guys are going to see some good things from this lady. You know, just keep an eye on her. At last count, I saw she was up to 320. Did Pinder get over 500? He promised to do a certain video if he hit 500. Yeah, that's good, guys. Dragonfly and Liberty Cause, I'm glad you guys are doing that. It's cool to hear that you guys have a team down there. Because a lot of us don't have that. You know, I'm alone here now, ever since Bullet SpongeBob passed away. So, where do butterflies go when it rains, Wobbly? They all hide in Joshua Haynes' butt. I know, it's weird, but it's true. Her name is Pajama Audits.
I'm a mom first, so my kids come before all this, you know.
And nobody will ever hold that against you. If they do, they aren't worth your time. I mean, I'm a parent. I've got 3 beautiful children. They're all in teenage years now. And I would definitely choose them over anything else any day.
Yeah. They keep me going. And you know, part of what I'm doing is because I want to make sure that they have a better future. You know, that, you know, their government isn't just completely out of control and doing whatever they want. And I know, you know, it can be discouraging. I've gotten really discouraged at times, thinking, oh, this will never change. But we got to keep plugging away and keep working at it. That's, you know, and I've told people, like I said, I was on hospice care from June 2017 to January 2018. Literally a week after they discharged me from hospice, I almost died. And was in ICU for 3 weeks and had to have open heart surgery. And so I really want to make sure that my kids have more. I don't know when this disease is going to take me, but I'm going to fight for a better future for my kids until the day it does, you know.
I get it. I have died. So, I was clinically dead. And I had to be brought back. So, now I know I'm on borrowed time. It's a matter of, it's not an if, it's a when. My heart's just going to go. A part of my heart is literally dead from 5 heart attacks. So, it's just literally a matter of time. So, I get exactly what you're saying. And that's one of the reasons I get more and more passionate about this the more I learn. I've been in this for a long time now, and I still learn new things all the time. And I've had my children on here as guests on my show because I want them to learn. I want them to know things that they don't teach in school anymore. I just had my ex and my kids on the show the other day because of the fact that they don't teach this anymore. You know, children are taught to obey the cops, and that's it.
Yep, and that's how I was raised. Obey the cops. Do what you're told, and nothing bad will happen. And if you're innocent, you don't have anything to worry about. And I learned very strongly that day that it doesn't matter if you're innocent or not. With the police state that we're now living in here in this area under Sheriff Michael Chitwood, it doesn't matter whether you're innocent or not. I have absolutely no criminal record. I hadn't gotten a speeding ticket in over 20 years. And here I was being interrogated for a crime that I did not commit because I simply drove past a tag reader the night before.
Yeah, you know what? I spent quite a long time in jail just because I was the only white person in a certain neighborhood at the time when a car got stolen. I was 17, and yeah, so I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I had started, like I said, my oldest is 21. So for 19 years before my eyes were opened, you know, I taught my children the same thing. You know, just do what you're told and you won't get hurt.
Yep.
Open Cup, it's on summer break. We spent the whole summer reading about and reading the Constitution and me explaining what different things were and teaching them their rights, because they don't teach that stuff in school.
Well, if you want to see a good example of how it should be done, look at what happened to Furry Potato yesterday. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but she was filming outside of Boeing, a government contractor, and some guy comes up to her and just like snatches the gimbal assembly from her hand, takes her phone, and walks away and gets into his car and turns around and drives back into the property. Now the stream cut out in this guy's front seat. You know, so Furry went live on a different phone. She called the cops. The cops came. They immediately took her report. They went in, they arrested the man, put him in handcuffs, got her phone back. I mean, it was a prime example of exactly how it should be. And it was great. It sucks that it happened. That's the third time in 2 months she's had somebody arrested for assaulting her. So
now here they would say, well, you were filming him, so it's your fault that he assaulted you. You know, that's the thinking of our sheriff's department, and I have taught them victim blaming over and over and over and over. There was a incident where a young lady was sexually assaulted, was raped, and they actually victim blamed her. They said it was her fault because she was at this man's sister's house. And I was like, wow. You know, so a female visiting her female friend gets assaulted by the female friend's brother, and it's the victim's fault. It just, you know, our deputies, that's how they would handle that situation with Furry Potato, you said?
That's why I'm trying to get you to I was saying earlier, it doesn't matter what they say. What the law says is what counts. And the Constitution supersedes county law, state law, city law, town ordinance, whatever. The Constitution, it sucks that you may have to take it all the way through court, but the fact is, the First Amendment was ratified in the 1790s. It has been into effect for over 200 years. It is freedom of the press for a reason. You can legally film, and they cannot stop you. So as long as you know that you are in a public area, remember that. You gotta make sure. You know, that's a thing. That's one of the big learning curves of this, is knowing the limits, where you can and cannot go.
Right.
You know, some places you can wear a mask, other places you can't. You know, I mean, look at what happened. Colorado Donkey Watch. He was outside of jail with a partner filming, and it was like 20-something degrees out. And he had a winter face, you know, that covers half your face. You know, those kind of masks. Mm-hmm. So he was wearing that, and they were filming, but they had just walked off the jail property. They were on public property walking and got surrounded. Cops had ARs. I mean, they got totally swamped. Cops came in, tried to act all cordial. Came in, slammed him to the ground, went through his pockets, took his ID, everything. All because he was wearing a mask. even though it was legal.
Hmm.
When
Yeah,
all
here-
was said and done, they were just let go.
Here it's you can't wear masks except on Halloween. Because we figured that one out because the Batman jammies actually has a Batman mask attached that comes down, covers your upper face, and looking up the laws, it's actually one of those weird illegal things. You know, Florida's weird because you can't wear a mask over your face, right? Legally. But you can run around butt-ass naked. As long as you're not acting out sexually, it is legal to run around butt-ass naked in the state of Florida.
Really?
But you can't wear a mask over your face.
See, New York State, you're only allowed to be topless. But
Well,
that's silly. I mean, that's... And well, see, well, look at Washington, D.C. You cannot wear a mask. Even if it's freezing out. In Washington, D.C., it's cold. You know? I mean, it's just silly little things like that. People need to make sure they know. You know? Yeah, you'll get to... Once you get to know Fairy Potatoes work more... Oh, my God. She is amazing. She is so awesome.
I believe I did subscribe to her channel.
Yeah, well, when I mentioned before, you said you did.
I haven't... See, I'm one of the people that I get very few notifications, and I'm not sure why.
Well, yeah, that's YouTube for you.
Because I actually, anybody that I'm really interested in, I'll hit the subscribe and then immediately turn on the notifications too. But for some reason, I like Liberty Freak TV when he went live earlier. I never got it until the live feed was buffering and he wasn't able to continue. You know.
Yeah. So well, sometimes it's a matter of how many people you're subscribed to, or how many subscribers you yourself have. It's kind of like YouTube gives you an importance factor, you know. So they're not supposed to, but they do. You know.
I'm so new to YouTube. I never ever used YouTube until I started all this.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I've been watching YouTube since it came out, like in 1997, 98, whenever it first started. You know, but I never dawned on me to start a channel. I never thought start a channel. You know, and like I said, I was a silent observer for a long time. And then Taylin, and there was a guy by the name of Centurion Report. He also passed away, but they encouraged me to start going live. And, you know, just talk or whatever, you know. And I started doing it. And next thing you know, I had like 50 subscribers. And I was blown away. And then I had 100, and I was amazed. Because once you hit 100, YouTube considers you a real channel. You know, you even get a little congratulations email.
Yes, I did. I did.
But it was just, you know, it was weird. I never thought I would have a YouTube channel. Let alone be sitting in front of the camera, you know. So, there's a lot of great people in here that you definitely got to get to know. You know, a lot of good supporters, a lot of good auditors, Now, there's always that up in the air auditor, activist. Are you one or the other? Auditing is activism, people. Get over it. I'm so tired of hearing that.
That's how I see it, too. You know,
I believe I saw Black Label in there at one point. If you're still here, Ben, hi. Sorry, I was talking. I didn't say hi before, but I'm assuming you know who Black Label is. Yeah, Bob, I told her I was anti-auditing for a long time. Hey, Cop Cam, what's up, man? Oh, there's Black Label.
Well, I try to watch as many as I can, you know, and...
Well, Black Label does, he does interviews and stuff too, but, you know, he's got a really cool setup, and... You know, his channel's very much, like down to the nitty gritty, you know, asking the tough questions and, you know, really digging into the truth. So, definitely check out. He's got his channel, Black Label Cop Watch, and then he's got Black Label Live. So make sure you subscribe to both.
Yeah, what is the purpose of both?
Some people just like to have a backup channel in case something happens on their main channel. Like, you can get, if somebody tries to screw with you, they could try to hit you with a community strike and a guideline strike, and if you get it, they block you from doing live streams until it's resolved.
Okay.
So they have a backup channel where they can go live. So,
alright.
But Black Label's backup channel, you know, he tends to do, when he goes and does it, he tends to go on both of them. So, you know, like I said, just keep an eye out for his, he just did, an interview with, Blind Justice, and, So They Call It Freedom, and a couple other people. And, you know, he did a debate on his channel yesterday. It was really good.
So They Call It Freedom is Ian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He had him on there like 3 or 4 times. So, and, you know, you got Cop Cam. He's a good guy to know. He knows a lot about law. So, you see him in the channel right there. He knows a lot about law. He's very book smart, you know, very good resource for talking to about anything to do with law. Same with Constitutional Kim. She actually went to law school. So, you got her. Then you got Steve Pinder. He actually trains cops in martial arts. So, he's got an interesting perspective. You know, he's got a lot of cop friends, but he still believes in us. So,
I don't see accountability. You
right.
know, I mean, that's what I want to see is the accountability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we all, you know, we all say, we know there's good cops out there, you know, and we know that cops are human, but people ask us all the time, why do we audit? Why do we go stand outside with a camera? Why it's so stupid? Well, the reality is, auditing is the most legal way we can exercise our rights and see if they'll be respected. Right. You know, because there's not many things we can do that say this is constitutionally legal where we're going to be questioned. You know?
Yeah, and it's a way to try to make some changes, make things better.
Yeah. And you got Joshua Haynes. He's the ultimate unsubscriber. He'll always tell you to unsubscribe from him and time him out in in your channel. He's a great guy.
I'm
not doing call-ins tonight, guys.
One of my friends, one of my best friends, is actually a deputy for the Volusia County Sheriff's Department, and you know, I know that he's just kind of like, he says, "Look, I support you, but I can't sub to you. I can't, you know." He's like, but know that I am behind you. I just have to protect me.
Right.
You know?
No, I get it. And I'm sure you get it, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had Mike the Cop on here. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's got a huge channel. I had Mike the Cop on here, but I kind of screwed up the stream. I had too many people on the panel, and we were buffering. It was a disaster, but I'm hoping to have him back now that I've got the kinks worked out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that'll be good, and I know they're working on getting the Shadows YouTube page up. I'm gonna smack my son in a minute. He's 21, so it's not child abuse. So they're trying to get the Shadows YouTube channel up so that, you know, she's available too. And as I said before, she's the one of the attorneys that are on our team. So. Well,
hey, I mean, we'll do what we can to help all you guys and help your channels grow and get the word out on you guys. I mean, Honestly, I'd seen your name like once before, but I really hadn't gotten a chance to see your channel yet until Liberty Freak this morning. And, yeah, I get it, Bob. I know you won't. But, yeah, when I watched you, I really paid attention. And I'm like, you know, I really like this lady's attitude. You know, I really appreciated your style and you were very firm, but you did it in a way that you got your result. You know, there was no belligerence, there was no childness, there was none of that. It was straight business. You know, you even had a couple of times where the lady was agreeing with you and saying that she sees a lot of things the same way you do. How many officials would admit that on a live stream?
Yep.
You know? So that was great that you were able to achieve that. And when I saw your sheriff is making 161 grand, I'm like, damn.
Our city manager's making 176.
That's just crazy. And most of them, all they do, like the sheriff sits behind a desk. It's not like he's out in the street arresting people. You know?
Actually, he's not allowed to carry a gun.
What?
He messed up and failed his firearms safety.
You're kidding me.
Oh, yeah, that's what. Yeah.
You have a sheriff that's not allowed to carry a gun.
And on his firearm safety exam under stress shooting, it says discretionary, handwritten.
Wow. Yeah, exactly, Copcam. What the? I have never heard of that.
This guy is good at shooting video for the news stations. That's what he's good for. Eyes on Authority actually shared one of his videos yesterday. It was the one with the boa, the bola, B-O-L-A, which is like a Spidey button that shoots out string and ties up the suspect. And that was actually our sheriff who let them do it to him. And I put a comment in there. I said they should have tied it around his mouth because he doesn't know when to shut up. And I posted a link to one of the videos of something that he said. But yes, that was our sheriff on that video on Eyes on Authority Facebook page. So
I'm dumbfounded right now. I really am. I have never heard of a sheriff who could not carry a firearm. I mean,
you will never see a firearm on that man. And when
shouldn't he be suspended because that means he can't carry the proper equipment?
Yeah.
You wear a badge, you have to have a gun. This is in Australia.
All he is a paper pusher and a media hog. That's what he is. And he's...
So, I think, you know... Yeah, that guy... That needs to be, like, made public everywhere. I mean, a sheriff that cannot have a gun has to be big news.
You think?
I mean, like, your local media must not be aware of this.
Our local media... the Liberty Cause can explain this a little better, but our local media has basically been told not to report on anything except crime. And yeah, so getting anybody in our local media to do anything is like yanking teeth. They're not interested.
Yeah, no, it's $160K a year and he can't even perform his duties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that, Joshua. A judge shot himself in the hand. Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. I mean, Brian, you'd be safer with me next to you than my sheriff.
That's just insane. I'm totally blown away here. I have never heard of a sheriff that couldn't carry a gun. Ever.
And then somebody asked me, somebody said, well, aren't you afraid that the sheriff's department won't answer a call if you need them? Like somebody's breaking into your house. I said, no, I'm not. I can defend myself better than the sheriff can.
Can you imagine if they told Wyatt Earp he couldn't carry a gun? I mean, Doc Holliday would probably, like, draw funny faces on him or something. I mean, that's just... when I think of sheriff, I think of... I mean, I don't know about you, but in my past experience, sheriffs up here are more in the public. They do actually go out into the street. I can't imagine our sheriff not having a gun.
Seriously, check out his...
he failed his firearms test.
Do a Google search for Michael Chitwood. Or Sheriff Michael Chitwood.
Can you spell that last name?
Chitwood.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
He has several things. He lost a bike, a couple $1,000 bike, fell off his car on I-95 and damaged several vehicles, and he didn't even know that his bike had fallen until he was home. That's just one thing. The other thing is he's out there, he rides his bike around the community, but he falls off the bike. He falls off the bike so much that on the 4th of July in 2018, last year, 4th of July, I brought a box of Band-Aids, and I said when I saw him fall off his bike at the 4th of July, I was just going to start tossing Band-Aids at him. So really, our sheriff is...
What in the hell is your county thinking?
The thing that made him have to get retested for his firearms was an incident where he went in and he almost killed the bystander, and his deputies had to rescue him.
Oh my God.
So he, I believe that was in, the Liberty Cause may know better, but I believe that was in 2016, maybe 15. But I'm pretty sure it was 16 that happened.
And how is this guy still in office?
He is administration. He's not required to carry a gun.
Yeah, but Liberty Cause says he's lost 2 bikes.
Uh-huh.
I mean, so that's several $1,000s in county property that he should have been forced to pay back out of pocket. I mean... Oh my God, he goes and has to get rescued by his own deputies. I mean, the guy fails his firearms exam. Oh my God, Eddie asked, does he drink? I mean, good question.
He actually, there was an article recently that he could be found at one of the local bars. I'm not sure if he's drinking alcohol or not, but...
He went in to negotiate with someone, and someone started beating his ass. Oh man, this is great stuff. This is great stuff.
This is why I'm involved, because when he tried to bribe me into not telling people what happened with his precious tag readers, and coming after an innocent resident, I really felt like he bribed me, and then I started learning all this other stuff about him, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding. There's actually a Facebook page called ABC Sheriff 2020, because his term is up in 2020. And, the last sheriff was the drunk Dragonfly, and he's now one of our county council members. He was elected for county council in November. So, but yeah, when you see all this and you're like, this isn't even close to being right. We have a major problem here in Volusia County. And then he made this board, and when you Google search him, you'll probably see it. He made this board of all our county council members and put scumbags of the week.
People would like for you to explain the whole tag reader bit and the bribery bit. Can you tell it start to finish?
Okay, so that was what I told you in the beginning. Just to recap, it was my vehicle was legally on the road. The tag was legal. Passed the tag reader on a Saturday night. It was May 6th, 2017. On May 7th, 2017, I had 3 detectives show up at my house and interrogate me for 55 minutes about a crime that I did not commit. Wasn't even a suspect of that crime. I didn't fit the description of the suspects. And the only reason they were at my house was because my vehicle legally on the road passed the tag reader the night before. So, that's, you know, that's what happened with the tag readers. And then Sheriff Mike Chitwood came to my home to apologize to my children. And he did not apologize, but he offered my, at the time, 19-year-old a job in the dispatch center. He offered to bring my autistic daughter to the canine training center because that's what she wants to do when she grows up. And then he brought gifts for the 3 younger children. And then he also offered the entire family a ride in the sheriff's department helicopter, which I declined. Andre, my eldest, decided he was going to try to get a job at the sheriff's department. So he went through the steps, but when I didn't shut up, that didn't come to fruition. And I really, and then, like I said, the communication was just cut. The last email that I ever got from Sheriff Michael Chitwood was 3 words. No, 2 words. No, 3. Oh, comma, my bad. And I have that, you know, I have it screenshot saved on, you know, in different places. But that is the whole tag reader bribery kind of thing. That was also the report. If you look on, I believe it was last week when I went to the FBI, that report, I filled out a citizen complaint report on September 19th, 2018. I filled out the citizen complaint form, mailed it in like I was told to, and it never made it to internal affairs. So last week when I went to the sheriff's department where I was today, I went there last week as well and asked to speak to internal affairs, and I hand delivered that to them, and then I went to Daytona right after that to the FBI office to turn it into them as well. So
it's just, oh my God, I'm floored. I'm watching what they're saying in the channel, and I'm listening / reading what you're saying, and this is just crazy. I mean, guys, you think about that, okay? They offered her a ride in a cop helicopter, her and her family. Think about how much that costs. Fuel, pilot, all that. In a official police helicopter in a non-official capacity. I mean, there's got to be some kind of policy against that. You know, no civilians in the police helicopter. I mean, unless it's an emergency. Yeah, Liberty Cause, I'm getting that impression. I mean,
yeah,
geez.
It's bad. We have a really bad situation. One thing I want to address with you is Monkey 83 had asked me why I don't just stand on a street corner and like hold a sign or protest. Number one, Deltona, we don't have a downtown. We're the biggest county in Volusia, or we're the biggest city in Volusia County. We have over 90,000 residents, and we do not have a downtown. It's a layer-head city. So everybody leaves our city pretty much to go to work elsewhere. And then they come home to Deltona to sleep. So the only way to reach people is to either go door to door or do what I did drive and use a bullhorn and just try to get people's attention. And on top of that, I can't stand or walk for very long without my legs giving out. And then, I'm on the ground. What good am I? So there has to be a law against bribery. Sorry, I just saw Joe Black's comment.
No, that's fine. I know Monkey 83, and I know he didn't mean any disrespect by it.
Oh, no, I know, but I just wanted to address it because I know other people have had the same question, like, why are you doing it this way? Why are you wearing pajamas? Are you, and the whole thing is that, with me wearing the pajamas, and I'm cool with it because I take criticism pretty okay, and I can, I learn from it, Brian. I'm willing to learn because I'm new, and I know you guys have been doing this far longer than me. But that's really, I wish we had a downtown here in Deltona. If we want a downtown experience, we have to leave. We have to go to Sanford, or we have to go to DeLand. And Daytona really doesn't have much of a downtown either, except Beach Street. And, I mean, there's not a ton of traffic out there either. So it's kind of like, how do you reach? When I was considering doing the bullhorn thing, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, how can I reach 90,000 residents in just a few days in order to get the message across and get people at that commission meeting to stand up with us and request that they take action against our city manager? And that was the only way. I was like, seriously, I felt like that was the only way that I could get people there, because I can't go door to door. I'm not physically able to do that. But,
Wait,
I know a lot of people.
Hold on, sorry. Rising Sun Media, what are you talking about? What did I miss? Sorry, I don't want there to be any type of issues here.
I'm looking at it, I don't see.
Liberty Cause, you have to understand though. I know what you're saying, but a lot of us have been through a lot of crap in this movement, and I was explaining this to her offline a bit in text. There's been a lot of sides and a lot of this and a lot of that, and some people have gotten very bitter and very quick to jump the gun. Monkey 83 is a very passionate man. He was a Marine. He's if you watch his videos, this guy got shafted big time by the cops many times. And he got shafted by people on here. So, yeah, he may have jumped the gun a bit and maybe he was a little disrespectful. I can't say. I wasn't there.
No, I think he didn't understand why I was.
Exactly.
He felt like I was making a mockery, but I wasn't. I was doing what I possibly could. I mean, it took a lot of thought to figure out how am I going to reach these 90,000 people, and I wasn't able to express that on that, and that's why I brought it up tonight with you, Brian, because I understand where he's coming from. It looked like, I mean, we were joking around, we were having a good time, but we were doing something that was really important to our community at the same time. And he, ever since he, he's seen the other videos, and he's actually made some supportive comments on, videos after that. Because I think what he wanted to see was, he wanted to see me, he wanted to see my passion about what I was doing, not joking around and goofing off with my,
Yeah, exactly.
my friend. And he wanted to make sure he didn't see that passion in it. And I think that passion came out at the commission meeting, and at the special magistrate meeting when I went to City Hall to get his oath of office, oath of ethics, and surety bond, which, by the way, he does not have. And I confronted him that night. and since then, I think he finally saw that passion that he wanted to see. I don't know. I can't speak
Right.
for him.
But no, I mean, we've also seen a lot of fly-by-night activists that have come through. Some of them have come guns a-blazing, cursing cops out, this, that, and all of a sudden they're just gone.
Yep.
Or they're very, very, very quiet and very meek and fade away. And, you know, some of these people we've invested a lot of time in and a lot of effort in, helping them build up some channels, some support, all that. And then they turn on us and treat us like garbage. So it's gotten, I mean, it's sad to say, but the community has gotten very drama-ish, very gun-shy on things, very touchy on other things. You know.
Yeah, and I just want everybody to know that my passion is to bring change here. I mean, I really wish you guys could see what we deal with every day here. I mean, it's just obnoxious. And our police, we don't even have our own police force here in Deltona. We contract with the sheriff for $11.84 million. And, you know, I mean, to get the word out, it would cost us thousands upon thousands of dollars to just notify people that this stuff was happening.
Some of that, wait a minute, hold on. Leon Valley, the divide happened before Leon Valley. And Bob, how is it my fault? I've done everything I can to hold this community together. How is it my fault?
Well, let him know. Make him go.
Right now they're dealing with
Yeah, I can see the passion in you, which is why I told you. I said, you know, I liked what I saw, and I wanted to support you. And, you know, I don't do this for just anybody. I don't just support just anyone anymore. You know, because I've gone and I've helped. There's been people that I invested a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you know, that they just turned around and burned me, you know. So you know, and then
well, I want to continue building this. Like I said, I took a year and a half to really watch you guys and really learn. And I want, like I said, it wasn't an attack on him. Okay, I definitely, I need to say that. I wasn't attacking him. I was just bringing up the concern because I'm sure other people also had that concern. And I am very passionate about it, and I want to make a difference here in my community. And I continue to watch you guys. I mean, I'm up till 1, 2 in the morning, and he's saying, shut your damn phone off and go to bed, because I'm up watching you guys and continuing to learn and pick things up and, you know, take notes and, you know, be ready for the next time. So maybe next time I'm a little bit better. You know?
Rising Sun Media, I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. There's a lot of different conversations going on right now. I kind of caught what was said to a point. But don't blame me, because I'm sitting here talking to Pajama Audits. You guys are all adults. I don't know what to say there. I mean, I'm not going to block people for having not violated any of my channel rules. You know, I haven't seen any racism. I haven't seen any bigotry. Any of that. Yeah, Juan, she lives, didn't you say you're in Deltona, near Daytona?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Juan.
Yeah, and I don't, you know, I have respect for all of the auditors that go out there, because it's just, and the mods, oh my god, Boomer is on like 4 or 5 channels all at the same time, and she's like on top of it, and Modified Mommy does the same thing, and I watch this over and over. I'll watch the videos over and over and over, and put the chat replay on so that I can see what's being said and what's, you know, and I do, I take notes. I have a sort of photographic memory at times. And I just watch everybody and what they do. And like I said, I just want to learn. I just want to be better. I want to be able to go out there and reach the 90,000 people. And
oh yeah, you will, and it takes time, but you know, it takes time. You have to have patience. I mean, some people, like Big Dick, they explode. You know, their channels might get 20,000 subscribers in a matter of months. But just, you have to be patient and just do you. You do you. I mean, you know, you talk about the bonding thing. You know, that was one of the ways I first started. You know how I told you, I was anti-auditing for a long time, and I picked on a lot of auditors and said bad things. And I started out just slowly getting to know them and going into their live streams. And eventually they made me mod, and I proved myself as a moderator. I mean, you know, me, Taylin, Boomer, Sarah T, you know, a couple others, we moderate for a couple dozen channels.
yeah.
So that's a good way you could kind of get into the community more than just as an auditor. Just sit at the live streams. Watch other people's streams. Comment. You know, even if you don't agree with them.
Right.
Say so. Because, you know, people will never improve unless they have something to start with. I mean,
right.
You know, Black Label, like I said, Black Label's doing this with his stream now where he's very, no holds barred, no punches pulled, no sugarcoating. You know, because there has been a lot of sugarcoating for a long time. And one of the things that the benefit from that is newer people get to learn from past mistakes. You know, there's been like High Desert Community Watch and News Now Houston and SAXC Prez, James Freeman. I mean, they've all been around for a long time. And yeah, I see that was an accident, Dragonfly. He got blocked by accident.
Uh-oh.
He's unblocked. He unblocked him. But it was an accident. But, you know, it's trying to help people learn. Like, if you watch James Freeman's older stuff from a year or two ago, and then watch him now. Totally different. Totally different. And, you know, one of the things I keep going back to is unity and people helping each other. There was a time not long ago where Cybertron and I had a difference of opinions. And we were both a little childish about it. And then, like, the next day, I seen him go out. He had to work that day, and you know what? He still went out and backed up Eric. And, you know, Eric and Regan and them. And he stood there to be their backup camera and support them and whatever they needed. And that was just awesome.
Yeah.
And it was like, that made me say, you know what? The petty difference he had and me and him and I had, it wasn't worth it. The respect and the dedication he showed, that's what I like. You know?
Yeah, and I think, you know, I mean, the newbies like me, I took that year and a half to really watch and learn before I went and did my first video. And actually, one of the first videos I did, the Liberty Cause called me and he's like, you might want to make that private and then go look at it again. And so, I mean, you know, I ended up just deleting that video. It was that bad. But, you know, I'm learning something new every day, and I'm reaching out. Boomer during the special magistrate meeting when I called him out on not having his oath and surety bond, Boomer finally said in the chat, she said, stop. Just, he will have you arrested. You need to stop. And so I took, I actually listened to her and I stopped at that point. But I did confront him later on, when there wasn't a chance of being arrested, because that, if not to knock anybody who's been to jail, but if I'm sitting in jail, I can't be out here making a difference.
Exactly.
So, and that's my goal, is to make a difference in my community. And so I actually appreciate the, there is an expose coming on the special magistrate soon.
Good.
But I mean, I want, the older auditors, the ones who have been around for a while, say, hey, you messed up here, or you need to do this, or, and instruct me, because I'm learning. One thing about new auditors that I've seen is there's some that want to learn, and then there's some that just
assume,
gung-ho want to.
Yeah.
Is Boomer in your chat?
I don't know if she's in here right now, but she's one of my moderators and one of my friends, yeah.
She was in here. I don't know if she's still in here. Boomer, are you still in here? My husband actually brought this to me and told me to make Boomer jealous.
Oh, that's not right.
Just teasing.
See, when you get these idiots like this guy that was in here just a moment ago, Will Teasel, he makes a comment, oh, you're conning people, whatever, do you still need that lift to the hospital? It's referencing one incident, like a month or two ago, where my mom was in the hospital, and I couldn't get home from the hospital, and there was a misunderstanding. People thought I needed a ride there, and it was just a confusing thing with pink camera magic. And he's trying to dwell on it as if it's like, some big deal, as if that's going to tear the community apart or whatever. Yeah, he scammed Amanda so bad. That's why I talk to her all the time, and she's going to be on my show tomorrow. I mean, it's people like that guy that are just tearing it apart.
Yeah.
Hey, 303, what's up, brother?
But one thing I have learned in the videos that I have done is you really do at times have to laugh, because it can be so emotionally draining.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you don't laugh certain things off, it's like, oh my God. I mean, I could be totally PO'd about what happened today, but I'm like, it is what it is. I mean, maybe we made a difference. Maybe we didn't make a difference at the sheriff's department, but as I was leaving the sheriff's department, I got an email from our custodian of records or our city clerk records person, and I did make some change at City Hall, the other night. So, you have to weigh if you can get one good thing accomplished, it's just, you got to put up with all the shit to have, it equal out. So,
yeah, you're right, but it'd be nice if we could weed out the crap more here in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, you get fed up with it after a while, You get tired of seeing the arguing, the dissension, the side picking, all that crap. So that's why I warned you ahead of time. Just look out for it and avoid it.
Yeah.
That's I kept getting dragged into situation after situation, and I'm like, you know what? I walk away. Yeah. I'm so over it. Don't drag me into it. I don't want to be involved in it. Leave my name out of it.
You got to tune it out, and unless it's constructive criticism, and then
right. Well, yeah, constructive criticism is great.
you know, bad mouthing someone and being, you know, constructively criticizing them.
Right.
And I think, you know, I'm not in it for that either. I'm not in this for the drama. I just want to bring change, and I know that it's a group effort, you know, like the Chalk America thing, you know, that's a widespread movement. And you know, the people who are active and are in it for change, real change, not to like make a name for themselves, but to really make change. You know, it's important to back them and be there for them. You know, that's just. I've actually made phone calls on people have put out phone numbers.
Yeah.
And I've made phone calls, and I don't even know the people. I'm just like, look, I saw this, and this is going on right now, and you need to back off. You know, but you know, that's part of being a team. You know, and in a sense, the auditors and activists that are. Our goal is pretty much the same. It's just, let's make some change, you know.
Yep.
Somehow stick together, work together, make the change. Like today, I probably wouldn't have gotten those records if y'all hadn't started calling.
Well,
I mean, Eric called the IT department of the sheriff's department, told them we had an error going on. You know.
Yeah, and when Eric makes a call. Yeah, he gets things done. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And, you know, that's, like I said, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here, is to get your name out there and to try to help you grow. You're already up to 327.
Wow.
And, you know, the whole idea here is to spread the word. You know, we got Dragonfly, we got Liberty Cause, you know, subscribe to them too, guys. You know, and I really would love to see you hook up with Big Nick. So I'm going to talk to him and see if I can't make that happen somehow, because I think that would be great. You know, and in the interim, I mean, you guys are doing what you do. And that's all we can ask. And I really appreciate the effort that you guys are putting in as a team. I mean, it's great to see the teamwork. It really is. So, we've had a lot of teamwork falter in the past, and, you know, you guys are working it out, and that's what counts. So, I mean, I've had this stream going for 2 hours now, guys, so...
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, anybody got some questions for her while we're still live? Because, I try not to go too much over 2 hours. So, you guys got any questions for her or me? Now's the time.
And no, I'm not sharing my ice cream, Dragonfly, so don't ask.
Yeah, that'd be great, Jerry. Big Nick
Oh my
audited
God.
in pajamas. And he probably would, too.
Nice
Furry
to meet
Potato
you.
went out in a pig costume.
Who did?
Furry Potato. She went out in a pig costume with a blue line flag as a cape.
Oh wow! I actually have an Amazon wish list, and one of them is a pig and a tutu pajama that I want.
Kim, stop lying. So, well, I guess if nobody's got any comments or questions, you sit tight for a moment. Guys, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you showing her the love and support that you have. And, yeah. No, it wasn't a Pikachu costume. It was, oh my God. Star Wars. What was the name? Chewbacca. It was Chewbacca. Eric was the one with the Pikachu. Yeah. Furry went one day as a pig costume, then she went the next day all in black with this black mask, and it was crazy. You would have never known they were the same person. So, yeah, there. I was just going to say that, Sarah. Look at her, right on the ball. There's her link if you guys haven't already subscribed to her. You also have to subscribe to Steve Pinder, too, so make sure you go sub to him. He needs 3 or 4 more to hit 500. I know most of you are already subscribed to him, but... Yes, Dragonfly. So again, I appreciate everybody for coming in, and thank you for the Super Chat, Cybertron. So, I guess I'll see you guys all tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific time. Pink Camera Magic will be on. So, keep an eye out for that.
I'll definitely watch that with you.
Alright, guys, have a good night.